Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa Postel and it's time for Culture on a Stick. Woo! Cue the little
Is there a thing?
intro noise. No.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to Culture on a Stick.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, babies.
We're so excited for this chat that we're going to have about a topic. So Culture on a Stick is it's a live stream that you get access to as a Patreon subscriber. So this is special content. Thank you so much. And we love to have you. We can also see what you're saying. You can all see?
Yeah, it's big.
Hello?
So we can see that maybe Brad Gabriel went to get a hot chocolate.
How is it, Brad?
Is it hot?
Tell us about
Is it chocolate?
Because I feel like it's summertime. Perhaps you want a cold chocolate.
Well, maybe he's in Australia.
Oh, that's fair.
Where it's
Thank you.
winter.
Thank you.
For a hot chocolate.
So
too.
Science.
Science. So prior to me right now, we've had Chris host this and Christian, I think. And today it's me, Vanessa Postel.
Hey, you.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce you to our panel members.
I might be off. I told you. I did things.
If you had just tuned in to our Paxmo gets sushi. If you had just watched our live stream game in Magical Princess World, you would notice that Xander is no longer here. He had to leave.
That's okay.
But let's meet again, all the people that are here, and give us your name and perhaps a little bit about yourself. What do you do in this world?
Yes, hey, Paxmo. Quick note, I got this on Amazon Prime. Just go ahead and Google.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't care
Thank
about
you.
that rich man and his orbs in Seattle, but he's got great fake hair. Do look up Lolita wig.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
It comes
Oh.
in many
Oh.
different colors. Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
right. It's just the specific brand name. It's very affordable, so you too can have something highly flammable on your head in 2 days. 2
Free shipping.
days. I am Lauren O'Neill. I'm so excited to be back with the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment World and Masters of the Metaverse here in the Intertown where we all hang out. Some of you may remember me without all this crap as Harmony Hope. That's right.
That's my favorite.
Yes,
For the
Attacking
little
the Darkness.
film known as Attacking the Darkness. You can find me online at www.leonzone.com. That's LEONZONE. And I am out and about all summer long being wonderful, and here's a picture of a cat.
Oh, thank you.
In
That's a
honor
very
of
pretty
Vanessa, here's a picture of a cat.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Paxmo.
I really
Thank you
like
for
cats.
being here.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks, Lauren. Next
Thank you, Jason.
on the show.
Got it.
Hey, it's your boy Keeson, aka What Is Kiss, aka Mason So Garcadeer, aka Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond. And yeah, I'm always happy to be here and do fun stuff. And shout out to my friend Vanessa for running another awesome game and being a wonderful human person.
Thank you, Keeson. Shout out to you for the thing you're wearing. He's wearing this really
It's like
great
a jumper.
jumper.
It has little pants and...
I'm gonna call it an
Oh,
action
thank
suit
you.
because I feel
Look at
like
that
he could get
thing.
into a lot of action. Yes, that worked that angle.
It's so good.
It's so good. I just want to jump in there with you.
I gotta be mindful. The shorts are pretty short, and
I like it.
I gotta be conscious about stuff falling out.
Apparently stuff did fall
It's a
out
good
earlier.
problem to have, right? I mean, it
Thank
could
you,
be
problems.
Keeson. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Sarah Sanders Odie. I like playing games and painting minis and dressing up in sparkly things, and I teach middle school children maths in the meantime, in my real life, I suppose. And I'm hoping that Tuesday we get to do, we're doing like an Oscars award party for the kids that did things or didn't do whatever. And it's called the Oscars of our school, and I'm hoping that means we get to dress up.
You should. It's the
I sent
Oscars.
a big email to everybody, and I had some teachers be like, "Sarah, why?" And I was like, "Because it's sparkly."
I
So-
love it.
So
You should just
I
take
might
the
just do it.
initiative. Just do it.
I might just do it.
do it.
I really think you should.
know.
Sparkles are always good.
Right?
Hmm?
I like.
I love them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here on Culture on a Stick. Ding, 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 ding.
It needs a little thing.
Ba-da-bop.
Sticks!
Perfect. One day we'll cut to a little cartoon.
I'm picturing like the hot dog on the stick guy, but like Culture. We have to make it culture somehow.
Very cool.
A visual of culture on a stick.
Yeah, how do we do that without appropriating any cultures?
It would be great to see some examples of that.
That's what you and I get to work on for the next couple decades, sis. We got this.
Thank you.
Hey.
So in the past on this show, your host has posed a nice topic relevant to the gaming world or the live stream world, probably. And today's topic that we're going to begin discussing is just we're going to speak on from your hearts how you feel. You know, the world has always probably been a scary place, but right now we have all of the social medias and news outlets and everything to show us just about it. So in the face of all this, I would like to hear how you feel like your place as an artist in this particular art form helps combat the state of our world, or helps the state of our world, or not necessarily like, is this relevant? Because it is, but why and how? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I personally use media to escape things that are crappy a lot. And I think that you can veer, and I can too, into doing that way too much, or using it to numb too much. But right now there's just so much that needs numbing because it's so terrible, that I feel like participating and contributing to this kind of media, this kind of entertainment is really useful, just to kind of help like recharge us to do the work and do the fighting that we need to do. And participating in a company that's so social justice oriented, it also helps. Like, Zoe is so committed to not being bad. That's not articulate at all, but
No,
you know what I
you
mean?
were,
Like,
yeah.
Zoe has such a
Very
good heart.
conscious.
Yes, they're
Yes.
very socially conscious, and like being able to contribute to an entertainment platform that can help recharge people to do the fighting, and the entertainment platform itself is doing the fighting, is just a huge honor, responsibility, and fun thing to do. That's what I thought.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
I feel similarly. At the same time, the numbing of just kind of like the outside world, like, you know, like you said, like it's a scary place, and there's a lot of toxic and just nasty stuff out there. And before I joined up with Zoe or started doing stuff with like Hyper and stuff, I was always, as far as like online and just like in real life, the more online I had, more of a reach to other people, to always just like address it head on and just like run into the fray of the comment section, swinging at trolls, because that's what I did, and I love doing it. And that was a lot of fun for me, and also just kind of like, it's needed. Because there's a lot of sort of like state of thought where it's like, you know, stay away from the comment section, like don't interact, just ignore them, It's like, no, someone needs to actually be out there to be like, no, you're wrong, and you're horrible. And as many times as you can just kind of like sort of repeat the same thing and like troll other people, I can troll too, and I can do it harder. So being able to be a part of a group that just lifts and supports that, as well as allows me to be a part of their
We should make like a
platform.
button or a shirt that says "I troll for good" or something like that.
I love that. I love that.
Social justice troll.
That's just strong.
There it is.
But being part of a platform that allows me to join them, that's also just full of good people and very, more socially conscious. At the same time, not asking me to kind of like, hey, can you not? Or you're part of this now, can you not tweet this? Can you not? And just being able to have that freedom and swing at who I choose. It's been very nice, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love it.
We like your swinging.
Yeah. Gosh, that's such a big question. We were talking earlier on the drive up here about how wonderful it is to have an environment to be able to imagine and fantasize, but to do it collaboratively and do that live, so people can see us working together and individuals within the group together, and how powerful it is to see people just agreeing to be in a room together and not only be civil but interact in a really positive, super constructive way. And so that is just, you know, ringing all my bells. And as a lady on the internet who does other things on the internet, I recognize every day what a wonderful platform it is and how we should use our power for good. In that it has to remain really accessible, and it has to remain really inclusive, and it has to remain really open and really free, or else it starts to collapse into something a little bit scary. So I see this as just one aspect to support positive images of individuals, particularly like, you know, femme-presenting women who are out there doing what they want all the time in whatever state of like dress or array of clothing or look or whatever they want to do, because that's their art. So, you know, in the sense that my life is my art, all my participation in the internet, and certainly this is my art, and I think that keeping it open, keeping it collaborative, keeping it truly inclusive is the key. So that's what I'm supporting every time I come online.
I love that. Yeah, I'd say my favorite part about doing this with all of you and you is the collaborative community aspect. It's super unique. It's super weird and really cool. I love it. For me, the community and the connection is as much part of it as like the ability to improvise and perform, because that's fun too.
Well, and isn't like the community and the collaboration, isn't that part of the healing that we can do? Like part of the problem in capital letters in the world is just like people not working together, seeing each other as valuable, seeing each other as dispendable, and
As human.
right? Like if we're not, when we do this kind of collaboration, this kind of teamwork stuff, especially with chat, everybody has value, and when somebody has value, you can't dismiss them. You can't, you know, lock their children up or not give them clean water.
Right.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, and as little power as it feels like you have in the moment, the power of ideas and the power of free creative thought is truly the most powerful power humans have. I mean, you know, mother necessity, that's the whole thing here. So like, the more we continue flexing the muscle and showing people compassionate, empathetic, even when we disagree or don't agree on what we're doing in the campaign or whatever it is, those moments when people see us work through it together or face it head on or whatever are just those teachable moments where it coalesces it for you and it makes you want more of it. You want to go out and get involved in those experiences. You want to go out there and participate more and be out there, you know, with us chatting and stuff like that, truly staying involved.
Yeah. Paxmo just said, Zoe to me and the people who work with them really show what the good internet is capable of. I agree with that sentiment too. Like, it makes me feel good to be part of something that is good, and we can control who's on it and what we say and what we do, and we like are showing an example of like a really, I want to curse so much, I want to say of a really positive and great 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
They don't really get to see anywhere else. Right, I know this is unique and really like eclectic entertainment. You're not going to see the same thing every time, and that's really unique.
Yeah, I totally. Rickety Cat poses the question: how do you define the line to keep inclusiveness without becoming preachy, especially in collaborative efforts? Rickety Cat.
Well,
I think
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's mostly just kind of like being honest, because it's one thing to have the intention to be diverse, to like want to do this, but if you are trying to be diverse in a field that is led and kind of controlled predominantly by white cis men, and the people who are leading, creating, and directing are only white cis men, then that's not really inclusive. It can be inclusive without being kind of like, this is a women's show, or this is a black show, or this is the trans show, or this is the gay show, or this is the LGBTQA plus show. is to kind of like share that power, share that influence, share that sort of, you know, in any sort of authoritative position with everyone. So it's not just the same old people generating the same content of what they think inclusive is, what they think that this might be, but actually putting marginalized people in positions of sort of control to run and to show run. And which is always great to have GMs and showrunners and creators and directors and whatnot who don't all look the same. So I think that's
I'm a little confused about the question. Like, how is inclusiveness preachy?
That was going to be my point.
Sarah, thank you.
Yeah, because that's the perception of the receiver, really. So you feel preached at. If I'm not on a pulpit and I'm not ranting about something, I'm technically not preaching, right? It just might not be an opinion that the listener is ready to grasp in the way that it's maybe being presented.
I find it like really frustrating.
I know.
When people are like,
I'm giving it so much heart right now because I want to walk them in here. When you're hearing something you're not used to hearing, and inclusive is a word that to people is all of a sudden brand new and like, oh, this concept is completely foreign to me. Oh. Well, no, we've been trying to do this for years, certainly my whole life. However, I think it's about actions, not words. I think it's about true authenticity. Like you say, the honesty of your product is going to show the inclusivity that you're creating. However, one should never be afraid to create an inclusive environment because somebody will feel preached at about inclusivity. It's just going to take them time to hear the message there.
Yes.
And when you are, say, a white cis man who has had all of everything you've ever wanted, including really, really crappy societal messaging about your right to emotions, your right to not be the man symbol that we have created for you. I mean, how do we educate our men? In the military, in sports, in the home? And how many of those are no longer available, right? So what messages are we giving to our men? That's part of the conversation, but really, it will take a while to receive the message, less as feeling preached at, and more as, that's something I could either have a dialogue about or just let land because it makes a lot of sense for everybody to have a seat at the table. You know what I mean? Right? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's about the stepping back.
Yeah, it's an interesting question to read.
yeah, it's just like, I feel like it's so to include everyone that what preaching is needed. Just do it.
Right. That's what we're learning and shifting into at this time. That's exactly what we're learning and shifting into. I agree. Like, you said something at the beginning of what you were saying about being just truthful and honest in this situation. And like, we are working with our friends and we are being normal, logical humans in all of these situations. That's it. That's it.
And also keep in mind that there is, the line is constantly changing. You're never going to reach a point where it's going to be like, you know, oh, like we filled our quota.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Like, we got it. It's done. It's going to constantly change. And as the world that we live in constantly changes and evolves, we as people have to do so as well, hopefully for the better, and not regressing or kind of taking steps back to you know, bad stuff. I mean, you can't be the last living dinosaur anymore. So
no regressing here.
And I kind of feel like as a studio, I've talked with other people about like the percentages of certain types of people versus other types of people in the world. And I feel like not every show needs to have all those percentages lined up.
Yeah.
But as a whole, the whole body of work should.
That's an important point,
Do you know
too,
what I mean?
right? You're not trying for 100% representation every time because that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't
not
make
all
sense.
stories are there. But also, if 100% of your stories are about 100, only one kind of person.
Right, then it's not.
Well, then you're just here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like making stories that can include the whole spectrum.
Right.
Eventually.
And Paximo's bringing up a really good point
Yeah.
about the inability to have dialogue and discussion.
Sure.
We're doing a really good job of it.
Well, we dialogue a little bit.
We're doing a great job.
I think people like do this thing where they dig a trench and they're like, if you can't hear me, I won't hear you, kind of a thing. It's like instead of saying, okay, I'll hear your point and then talk to you about how I feel, it's like, no, this is why you're wrong. And that happens a lot.
My favorite anecdote about different people's tolerance points has to do with scientific studies they've done around irritable bowel syndrome. This is on Patreon, so I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, do it.
So they did a study where they inserted balloons into several people's anuses, right? Okay. And then they inflated them at the same rate to the same size, right? Seriously. Every single person had a different amount, rate, think that they could withstand. Some people couldn't even get it in. Some people are like, balloon me all day. But what they discovered was that what they thought was a pretty static thing, you know, like either you can handle it or you can't, is like, oh, wow.
Right.
We have a huge range of butt tolerance here, right? So whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody who's really resistant, whatever, I just take a second and think about
inflate that balloon
their
slower.
butt tolerance, right?
Their
Like,
butt
okay,
tolerance.
hang on. Their butt is different than mine, meaning the holistic butt, right? The metaphorical butt. They're just in a different place than me. I'm here, they're over here. And now, if I take a minute, maybe they'll show me that same patience and they'll say, well, hey, I want to know about her butt tolerance too, because she's not just digging in, like you say, and putting up dukes. It's like, okay,
Nobody
we've got a
needs that.
difference of opinion.
Different butt tolerance.
Let's dig into these butts a little deeper. All right.
I love what
okay.
Maximo. Oh, go ahead.
I
You
was going to make a stupid comment. I was going to say, open up your third brown eye.
Yes, please.
This is funny.
Yeah.
Maximo mentioned social media and how, yes, that I feel that absolutely makes it's completely changed all the communications.
You just post the things that you like and invite people to argue with you, basically.
Right.
I feel I don't know, like I feel like the term like echo chamber kind of resonates with me the same way that people use the term PC. Of kind of like, you know, like, oh, you're just being politically correct. It's like, no, you're just offering
Being kind.
respect to someone else.
Right. Yeah.
And when it's kind of like, oh, like you're in your own like echo chamber, it's like,
I haven't
we say that to like marginalized groups. No, it's not an echo chamber. We've been saying this for years. Outside, you're just not listening. And I feel like there's some like false equivalencies of trying to like, you know, like see both sides. Like if you have someone who disagrees with you, like, you know, so many times on Facebook and on the internet, it's kind of like, well, you just disagree with this person. Like, no, they're white supremacists. Like, you just need to see it from their side.
Their side.
Why do I want to see it from their side? It's like that like you can't always say, like, you know, meet people at the same level. Like, try to see from their side. Try to empathize. Walk a mile in their shoes. Like, no, if I try to walk a mile anywhere where they live, I'd probably be shot. So I'm not gonna do that.
Well, that's
at
my
all.
problem with like the dialogue stuff with some people. Like the stuff that I see that's the stuff that I don't agree with is this stuff that's really, really hateful and terrible. I don't want to see their side. I don't want to lube up their butt. I don't want it. I just want them to shut up and go away. Like
Stop
personally.
hurting.
Like I'm over them. I'm over the hate. I'm over it. I can't figure out how to fix them.
Because you can't.
Like,
and furthermore, they don't want to be fixed, and everything they're doing is setting a trap to draw you into the attempt, because that's what they want, is negative attention.
More so, drawing attention to it just to bring it up on the same platform. And then say, oh, you can look at both issues. It's like, no, let's like...
Create that false equivalence, right?
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. And isn't it amazing that that's people's first instinct? That's what always catches me. Instead of leading with anything, it's always leading with at least the negative.
Yeah. So that's why it's one of the reasons why I teach. Like, the way to fix it is to get the kids.
It really is.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yes.
the way to fix it is to change it from how it is right now.
Yeah. I'd like to just take this moment to point out how we're all educators.
We are.
All four of us.
We are.
Teach the youth.
And the adults, they're still willing to learn.
The ones that still care.
The ones that will pay me. If ever I get drawn out. Like, well, explain this to me. Oh, here's my Venmo.
Right.
Put money in
Let
there.
me explain how
I will
this works.
continue. Until then, you're trash. So let's put on to that.
I love being part of this organization and group and people to collaborate with because we all seem to have this very common level, like, sense of what's harmful or not as far as the things that we're talking about. And I think that that's really good and kind of is part of answering the first question, which is like, how is this art important? It's that we're all talking about this together is super important. Culture on a stick. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to give Paximo. Somewhere along the way, we seem to have gotten so far over giving everyone far over into giving everyone that we've forgotten what our basic values of society are and should be. That's an interesting concept as well.
I'm ready to say some people don't need a voice.
Oh yeah.
Nazis.
Those people.
Yeah.
Don't need a
I
voice.
feel you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap this up.
Perfect.
But I want to give you all a chance to like comment or end if you want about the couple of things that we've been talking about before we completely the tolerance paradox. Yeah,
Yeah, that
I was
one's
reading
a
about
good
that too. Anyway, does anyone have a final thought addition to these concepts of why this art is important and why just being normal, non-harmful, inclusive humans is not hard?
You're important right now for supporting it, let me say that, and continuing the dialogue among yourselves. And I know that you will take this out tomorrow, the next day, 3 weeks from now into the world like we will, and it will be an element of something you're doing there too, and that's really important. You know, nothing is ever wasted. No idea is ever bunk. It's always worth something, including these conversations. So thank you for participating.
Yes. Thank you so much. Go research the tolerance paradox. Thanks for being part of Culture on a Stick. My special guests. So you said that leonzone.com.
Leonzone.com.
Any place to plug Find Keeson?
I am going to be at Jet City Improv performing live for a bunch of shows, including Ass Butts. Check out my show on Facebook, Cast of One. It's the final series, the final season of the series for Cast One Forever. We have a bunch of awesome folks coming up. I just did this awesome video last week. I thought it was gonna be a live stream. It wasn't. With the Monaco Society for their game Weave, featuring Erika Ishii, Bebo, Sky Blue, Jackie Dash. Check it out. It was an awesome space with awesome women and femmes, and it was super cool and super dope. Be awesome, believe women, and just be kind.
Thank you.
I am Sarah. What?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
A plug or a place to find you or a
I'm
Twitter?
on
Twitter handle?
Twitter. Sarah Spud. I think it's 81.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm also on. Yeah, that's where I am.
And you're almost done with school.
I am almost done. Can you tell that I'm like?
I love it.
And I think I convinced Lauren to get on Twitter too.
Oh yes, look for me on Twitter. I'm sure Vanessa can help me figure
We'll
it out.
find you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Grandma
You know
does
what to
internet
do.
very good. Just now getting the Instagram popping. Ms_Hattie, Hattie, because otherwise you'd be Mashatti.
Thank you,
That's
and it's
right.
Ms. Hattie. And I'm Vanessa Postel, and you can find me at Vanessa the Witch on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, turns out. We're going to see you next week for another episode time of Culture on a Stick.
Fun.
Until then, just have a great day.
Rock and roll friendship.
Rock and roll. Have a
Oh,
rock and roll
I
day.
will follow you.
We love you, Paximo. We love you all.
All of you, chat. Love you.
I will follow Lauren, she says.
Follow me.
I will follow you.
Follow me.
Follow you wherever you
I love
will
Sister
go.
Act.
Probably to the dollar store.
There isn't an ocean too deep. Are we good?
We're good. Thank you. We love you.
Are we still